This video is going to cover questions 11 through 16 on the test review. Alright, number 11 said you are 80 feet from the screen at a drive-in movie. The angle of elevation to the top of the screen is 58 degrees. So, given our picture, that's 58 degrees. And it says that we're 80 feet from the screen. So our 80 is going to be over here. And we want to figure out how tall is the screen, which means our x is going to be over here. So again, the first thing we want to do is go through and label our sides. So there's my opposite, hypotenuse, and adjacent. So in this particular problem, we're dealing with an opposite and an adjacent. So that means we're dealing with tangent. So the tangent of 58 is equal to x over 80. Again, x is on the bottom, or sorry, x is on the top, so we're going to multiply by 80 to both sides. So 80 times your tangent of 58. Which in this case is, again, as long as you're in degree mode, should be 128.03. Alright, question 12. Alright, so you can either do this by hand or you can use Desmos, either or. If you use Desmos, one of your equations is going to be the square root of 2x minus 5. Your second equation, remember, it doesn't actually do, it won't graph just a number, so the second equation you'd have to type in is y equals 3. And again, find where they intersect. You're looking for the x value. Or, if you prefer, you can go through, this is one of the smaller ones, you can go by hand. Again, step 1 was to get your radical alone, which in this case it is, so we just square both sides. Because the square and the square root are going to cancel each other out, so those are gone. So we get 2x minus 5 equals 9, and then we just start solving. So adding 5 to both sides. So 2x equals 14, which means my x has to equal 7. So either way, you can use your Desmos or you can go through and solve it by hand. Either way, you'll get an x value of 7. Alright, number 13, it wants us to just write the function. These are multiple choice. You just have to figure out what is the correct function. So as soon as I see y varies, so y equals k, because we're dealing with variation. Remember, anything that's directly needs to be next to that k, and anything inversely needs to be on the bottom. So we're going to vary directly with f and c, so we're going to have an f and a c there, and inversely, so that's going to be at the bottom, inversely with d. So you have a question just like that on your test where you're not even going through and solving k, you're just trying to match up and see if you can put things in the right spot. 14, remember your rule is when you have something like this is you want to add your exponents. So again, your calculator will be your friend. Green button y equals enter, we get 1/3 plus green button y equals enter 3/4, and it will add up to 1/4. Okay, so easy question. Alright, 15 says write the function. Now this one is going to have us write our function, but we're also going to find our k value. So this one just says y varies inversely. So again, as soon as you see y varies, okay, it's y equals k. This is inversely with x. So this is the basic inverse variation equation. Now, if you notice, it's going to tell you your x and your y. Okay? So it's going to tell us the x and the y that go together so that we can find our k value. Remember, in an inverse variation, a regular inverse variation equation, our k can be found by multiplying our x and our y. So in this problem, it says x is equal to -3, and my y value is equal to 6. So that means it's -18. So all we're doing really is plugging in -18 in for our k. So it becomes y equals -18 over x. Okay. Alright, so we have another question similar to that as well. You're going to be matching those up, multiple choice. 16, again, y is going to vary inversely with x. And again, to find our k value, we're just going to multiply the x and the y that go together. So we're going to multiply 4 times -2. So I end up getting -8. So we're looking for an equation that's y equals -8 over x.